time to play ball. Welcome to the podcast with no limits. Whether it be sports, current events, or random thoughts, this is the place to step in and stay a while. Your host is a proud alumnus of Rio Hondo Prep, a former minor league baseball umpire, and a man with strong opinions. Welcome to the Get Home Safe podcast and your host, Matt Hersema.
Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Get Home Safe. Happy Wednesday, July 27th, 2022 to everyone out there. I am more than a week late. I didn't get an episode out last week. It was for good reason, just needed a breather. Plus I was out and about doing some things, crossing some things off my bucket list. I did know that, I would probably take some time off in July as we got closer to the high school football season. And for those of you, most of you who listen to this podcast, also listen to the brand new A Charge to Keep podcast that I started in June that is dedicated to Rio Hondo Prep football. It's been great so far, has had great responses and reactions from everybody. It's the same chair, same table, just a different background and much different content. So for those of you who are Get Home Safe podcast fans, and if you're looking for a high school football podcast dedicated to one of the best high school football programs around, in my opinion, check out A Charge to Keep. Now we're on YouTube, we're on audio platforms, much like this podcast is. And what I'm really trying to do is get that YouTube channel up in subscribers. We got about half of the subscribers that this podcast does, Get Home Safe. So if you're listening to this or watching this on YouTube, go give us a subscription follow on YouTube. And for those that don't know, it confused me at first too, because I am an old man in a mediocre kind of young man's body. I thought subscribe meant it costs money. No, it doesn't. You subscribe to a podcast, you subscribe to a YouTube channel or a platform. It just means you're following basically. And there's an option there for updates for new episodes. So those are just some of the things, some housekeeping items that I would greatly appreciate from you guys who are loyal fans of the Get Home Safe podcast. And every now and then I take, a week off, maybe a couple off. I thought I had some time today, so I'd come home and knock one out here. But there's a few things I want to get to today. That number one, I want to give you kind of a state of the union with the Get Home Safe podcast. Now that the Charge to Keep podcast is off and running, kind of a schedule, tentative ideas I have for Get Home Safe. It's been my labor of love. And it's something that I'll cherish forever. And it's not going away by any means. I do think the format will change, and it has changed throughout the metamorphosis of this entire podcast. It started as just like a once a month thing. Then I went daily when we kind of were locked in our homes for a year and a half or whatever. I eventually had to go to like 3 days a week. And then I currently was doing 2 days a week, with just me, my random opinions on Tuesdays, and then a guest on Fridays. Well, what I found was that, with a lot of the Friday episodes over the past couple of years, it was a lot of Rio Hondo Prep people anyway. So talking about their journey, and I wouldn't change any of the podcasts I've done. I enjoyed talking to a lot of other people as well, from my officiating times and just random experiences and stuff. So the Friday episodes were fantastic. I love doing interviews. I'm still going to be doing a lot of those on the Charge to Keep podcast for those that know. But again, the Charge to Keep is now kind of the official platform for the Rio Hondo Prep related stuff. That's what I'm going to try to push everything over there. If I have any comments about Rio Hondo or whatever, I want it kind of on that platform. And I did a lot of Rio Hondo stuff on the Get Home Safe podcast, and I'm very, very proud of it, especially last year's football season. That was kind of the genesis, if you will, for the Charge to Keep podcast, having its own platform, basically following the team and giving a recap and an update really of the team throughout its season. I have big ideas for the Charge to Keep podcast. This isn't just a Charge to Keep infomercial here. I just want to inform those who might be interested in both that it is my high school alma mater, Rio Hondo Prep. I played ball there many years ago, 20 years ago. And just a way for me to give back is to kind of do a sports show, the Longhorn Network ish kind of a thing. Like the Lakers have their own channel, the Dodgers, it's like the Real Hundo Prep channel, basically, of me pushing the football program as best I can, interviews with coaches, players, former players, alumni, faculty. The goal with the Charge to Keep podcast is to, for those that are following already, is to do a Friday episode, to do Friday episodes building up to the August 26th kickoff of the 2022 season. Once the season does get kicked off, I'm probably going to move the the Charge to Keep podcast. I will move those episodes to Sundays because that's typically when I record after the game on Friday with Coach Carson. It might be a Monday, if things don't work out, but Sundays is probably when the Charge to Keep podcasts will be coming out. You don't have to listen to it that day. They're there forever, right? But I think that's best. That's usually when I interview coach, when I interview a player, and there's no reason to wait till Monday to release those things. So I will probably just release them that afternoon, occasionally on Mondays. But so that's kind of the schedule for Charge to Keep. It's Fridays for now, building up Friday Night Lights, if you will. And then as soon as we get close to the season, they will be moved to Sundays, Sunday podcast episodes, because they'll be airing like the same day of the actual recording, which is nice. And so the plan is with Get Home Safe, it's going to be a 1 day a week thing now that my time and effort is into Charge to Keep. It's going to be 1 day a week. The Tuesday episodes, it's basically going to be that format. It's going to be me only rambling my thoughts. I'm going to try to keep all these under an hour. I know that's a long time. Some people 30, 40 minutes is great because it's their drive time. So I'm going to try my best to honor that and respect that. But it's just going to be my random thoughts, maybe some reactions to some sporting events, things that pop in my head, my venting, if you will. A lot of you know where I stand politically and other things, but it's just going to be that opportunity to get into the mic and spew off what's on my mind, let it build for a week. So what I think I'm going to do is once I move the Charge to Keep podcast to Sundays, I think I'm going to move the Get Home Safe podcast single episodes to Thursdays. I happen to be off for now on Thursday, so it makes sense to record Thursday morning, not have any obstacles coming to and from work, to just do the podcast, get it out by noon or so. And then you guys have a podcast on Thursday or Friday to listen to as you are waiting for that big Real Hundo football game on Friday nights, usually. And then, of course, the recap show on Sunday. So you can listen to this stuff in any order. This is just the plan for me to release things as I juggle kind of life, my schedule and everything. I wanted everybody to know. And to those that don't know, make sure you spread the word. And I'll be doing all this on social media as well. So look for more episodes like today on Tuesday, sometime during the week. That's all I'll say for now, because the Charge to Keep podcast episodes are airing on Fridays. And again, a lot of the episodes from the Get Home Safe podcast were Real Hundo related, mostly Real Hundo people. And what I'm going to do with Charge to Keep is once the football season ends in hopefully mid-November, right? Later, the better. I'll probably take December off for Christmas and such. And then starting January, I will one episode a month on Charge to Keep, talk to a former player, release an episode about with a former player, much like you've heard on Get Home Safe, but just a podcast, a one-on-one, really talking about Real Hondo football and their playing days. So that'll give us 5 or 6 episodes to get to the month of June, which I think will be good, spread out, right? We don't talk in high school football year round. It's kind of weird, but that's why 1 episode a month will be great. And then once we hit June again, I'll bring on Coach, talk about the program and the summer stuff. And then we'll be back before you know it, kicking things off and having weekly episodes in July. So that's my vision. As you guys have known many times, my visions don't always come to fruition, but hey, every now and then I hit a home run into one, the pitcher hits my bat, and away we go. So for you alumni out there, I can't wait to sit down and chat with you guys. A lot of you I've talked to already, but let's do an official Just Real Hondo podcast that we can put out there monthly. And I'll be in contact with many of you, but I do want to reach out to a lot of people that I have not yet heard from on the podcast. I have some great ideas, maybe some brother episodes where I have a couple of brothers or maybe even 3 brothers chatting about their playing days all at once or playing together. I think those could be a lot of fun. So just some thoughts there in moving forward. And again, to the Get Home Safe podcast, it's been phenomenal. I've enjoyed it. I will occasionally have a guest on, if I'm in the mood to talk to someone who's not really affiliated with Rio football, I'll be like, you know what? Let's do an episode, and I will just air that as part of the weekly podcast. So Get Home Safe is going to 1 day a week. As you guys know now, after what was it, 2 weeks ago, I had my Tuesday show, and then we ended things with Mrs. Mara Drain, who's again Real Hondo Prep related. But I've had a ton of great interviews on there, and you can go back and listen to all those. And I'll be having a lot of those people back and doing a lot of Real Hondo Prep content on A Charge to Keep. So anyway, that's kind of the outline, if you will. And now into some more serious topics, as well as a recap from my time last week, because I was away having a little bit of fun, and I want to tell you guys all about that. A couple things. First off, today is July 27th, and that is Bill Barnes' birthday. Mr. Bill Barnes, very big friend of the show. He used to come on here weekly and stir things up amongst the masses and be comical, be controversial. We love Bill Barnes. He is 60. I won't even say how old because he'll get mad, but he is doing well. Actually moved recently. I won't tell you where because, to keep the stalkers away, but living the good life. Him and his lovely lady, Donna, who we like more than him. They're doing so well. And to Bill Barnes out there, man, happy birthday. The fan base misses you. And every now and then, I think what happens is Bill Barnes will get worked up enough where he will be like, you know what, Matt, let's do a podcast. And it'll be okay. Yeah, absolutely. So he always has an open invitation to come here on the show, especially when things get crazy in our world and in the country around us. So Bill Barnes is always welcome here. But Bill, happy birthday, man. He hates his birthday because he's a year older. But I say, hey, yeah, you're living the good life. You're retired. You got a beautiful girlfriend. I mean, what can you complain about? Well, Bill will find something, though. For those of you that don't know Bill Barnes, go back and listen to a few of the weekly Wednesday weigh-in episodes, and you'll see what he's all about. So happy birthday, Bill Barnes. If you haven't had a chance to, don't do it on Facebook or whatever, shoot him a text. I know he'd love it. And remind him that you're a fan favorite, that you're from the Get Home Safe podcast. You went to Real Hondo Prep maybe, or something of that nature, because he loves his Real Hondo Prep people. I've gotten him to really fall in love with our school and the fan base and everything. So to Bill Barnes, happy birthday, man. Love you. And I hope to see you very soon. We'll hoist hoist an adult beverage, put an umbrella in it maybe, and maybe a candle. I don't know. But anyway, Bill, to you and Donna, cheers. And we'll be seeing you very, very soon. Can't wait for that. Last week, guys, I attended the Major League Baseball All-Star Game and Home Run Derby, courtesy of a dear friend of mine. And it's crazy when things come up out of nowhere. For years, I said, when the Home Run Derby, when the All-Star Game comes to LA once every 40 years, 30 years, I want to be there for that. And then, life happens and you can't afford things. And so I just kind of wrote it off and, man, next time the Rose Bowl is the national championship, I'll go to that one. You always say that. So I forgot about it all. And then a dear friend of mine reached out. Hey, I got a couple extra tickets. This is from the umpiring community. And I was just blown away that he thought of me. He said, I got a couple tickets for you for the Home Run Derby, for the All-Star Game, and for a private party Sunday night regarding Major League Baseball and the draft and the kickoff of the All-Star Game. I was like, yes, I'm in. I'll be there. And I'm not going to lie. It was a tough few days stretch there because I was out of the state the week prior, came back Sunday morning, then went to this thing in LA on Sunday night, saw the portions of the MLB draft before the social engagement there Sunday night. And then of course, work, and then the Home Run Derby, and then the All-Star Game Tuesday. And by Wednesday, I got to tell you, I was spent. I had thrown 9 innings and I didn't have a 10th. I was done, but sometimes you got to rally for the important moments in life, for the once in a lifetime opportunities. You can't shy away. You got to dig deep and get out there. I value sleep more now than I ever have. Sometimes you just gotta, hey, shake it off, rub some dirt on it. No one cares about, I don't want sympathy from anyone. No one's going to change their life because you're tired or you're hurting or what. Suck it up. Suck it up, mate. I hate people that are just so, we live in this age now where it's like everyone's dramatic. You know what I mean? Like we can't, discomfort is so, my feelings are hurt. It's so hard. Who cares? Suck it up. Suck it up, man. Like, if you did it every day, that's one thing. And I know people are hurting internally and all this, but come on, we've fallen so much from this, from just, I don't know, being a tough guy. And what, I'll be careful how I say this, because I feel like there's a layer of toughness to me. Now, can I lift a lot of stuff? No. Can I do a bunch of ab workouts? No, clearly not. But like, we lack mental toughness in this country now. Every little thing that goes wrong, it's like, dude, have you heard of adversity? I mean, come on. So I started watching that Derek Jeter documentary. The Captain's phenomenal. A few parts in there, I'm like, come on, do we have to talk about this? But anyway, even Derek Jeter, number 6 pick in the draft as a teenager, he had adversity in the minor leagues. A lot of guys do. A lot of guys step into professional baseball and they're like, oh, this is different. And yeah, because everyone's good. And what do you do then? You know how many amazing talent guys have faded out in whatever profession they're in because it got hard? There were other good people in it. Yeah. That's why it's incredible. The truly successful people is listening to them and hearing that it wasn't easy. Most of life isn't. And I'm learning as I go through it here that you learn as you go, and you try not to repeat mistakes and try to get passionate about something and put your heart into it. And if you're gonna commit fouls, we'll say, do them out of aggression, not out of laziness, right? Now, me, I committed a lot of fouls when I played basketball, and a lot of those fouls weren't called because I was sneaky, you know what I mean? And then played the, whoa, I didn't do anything card. Hey, he's just mad here. This big guy, I don't know why he wants to punch me. I didn't do anything. Different story. Anyway, amazing experience. Thank you to my good friends who took care of me for the man. There was a pre and after party too on Tuesday at the All-Star game. Really, really cool. It was awesome to see that collection of talent in one building on one field, right? Man, I haven't been to Dodger Stadium in years. I was impressed with the upgrades, the modernization of it, if you will. Still keeping the classy old school ballpark feel that Dodger Stadium is. And it's still a monstrosity. It's huge compared to all the other baseball stadiums out there. But I thought, man, the renovations they've done have been awesome. I love the thank you for visiting Dodger Stadium as you're exiting with all the different languages on there to, celebrate the diversity of Los Angeles. And not impressed with the prices by any means. I mean, it seems like inflation hit the MLB, quicker than maybe other parts of the other avenues of resources and things. But that's just how it's always going to be. I remember when Frank McCourt took over the Dodgers and he charged my chipwich, which was the one thing I always got at a Dodger game. When that went like over $5, I was like, this is criminal, McCrook. How could dare you charge me $5.50 for a chipwich? Now, I don't know if you can get half of a chipwich for $5.50 at the Dodger games, but I tried a Dodger dog again, right? The newer one that still not a fan, guy. I know that's one different. That this is the one thing people, well, there's many things. One of the big things that I will adamantly stand on. I'm not impressed with the Dodger dog. Never have been, never will be. No matter the different versions, it's not that great of a dog. It's just not. It's got a cool name. That's it. Oh, it sticks out of the, who cares? Yeah. Anyway, I'll take a Nathan's hot dog any day or a Costco dog. But anyway, really, really fun time. Ran into some friends there. And again, it was a bucket list experience that I was incredibly blessed and happy to partake in. Home Run Derby was interesting. It gets to be a little boring, it's just okay. It's batting practice basically, but when you see how far those guys can hit the ball, sometimes it's pretty cool. And it was fun for me to see, the minor league umpires out there working the foul lines in the outfield, those guys, AA guys who work the futures game, and their opportunity to be part of something big. So I was happy for those guys. I didn't know any of it. Well, I did meet a couple of them the night before, but it was cool seeing that. And then of course, major league umpires getting their opportunity to work the Major League All-Star game. Man, it's truly an honor to do something like that. And it's an exhibition. So you're working hard, but it's not like It's not like the intensity of a playoff game, and just it was a great experience, something I'll remember forever. And the National League, they just can't seem to win a ball game. It's interesting there. The what, 9 years in a row. Ohtani singled off of Kershaw to start the game, then got picked off. That was interesting. What the National League had like no hits or one more hit after the first inning or something like that. Guys are swinging through the fence for the fences. And I know the pitchers, hey, the pitchers are solid, right? All those guys getting up there, firing it in there. But again, really cool experience. I'm sure plenty of you guys went to the All-Star game in Anaheim, 10 years ago, which is hard to believe. I asked a friend of mine, I was like, hey, when was that Anaheim All-Star? Like 2-3 years ago? And they're like 10. I go, oh, well, I guess time's flying. But thank you to my friends in the Major League Baseball community who hooked me up. And I enjoyed just having a good time and being around baseball. It was a blessing to be there at the Midsummer Classic and to be a part of it all, and to just walk around Dodger Stadium and enjoy the atmosphere of a ball game, even though it was a home run derby event, and then the All-Star game itself, which is just really cool. Really definitely the best All-Star game out there. The other ones, they're scrimmages. They don't tackle. They don't play defense. I mean, it's even hockey. The hockey one's lame too. I'm like, nah, baseball's the best. This is the one area where baseball takes the cake for sure. Anyway, thanks again. And for those of you who were like, Matt, where's your podcast? I was like, man, I was running hard there in the baseball All-Star game circuit. So having a good time, and just very incredibly blessed for that opportunity. Today is July 27th, 2022, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show. And I wasn't even going to do a podcast this week, after I missed Monday, Tuesday, which is when I typically record, try to get them out for you guys. I said, well, we'll just take a couple weeks off. And then something inside me was like, no, you gotta get back to it. Just if it's 30 minutes, if it's just talking the pod, post it one day a week, right? All the Charge to Keep stuff is already recorded and submitted and ready to go weekly. So I don't have to put a lot of time into that right now. But once August hits, that'll change. But today I knew the day was coming, but I looked at my phone and it said, it's Bill Barnes' birthday. And I went, it's not Bill's birthday today, because I know Bill's birthday very, very well for an unfortunate reason. And I looked at the calendar and I went, I'll be darned. It is the 27th of July. And for those that do not know, July 27th, rather significant date in my life. It was back in 2008, where unfortunately my mother passed away on July 27th, 2008. And I was 23 years old and had just graduated college at Cal State Fullerton. And I don't know. I don't want to come in here and like, I'm not about sympathy. I'm not about any of that stuff. I felt a little inclined to come on here and kind of talk about that experience and my mom a little bit. But I think ultimately why I wanted to talk about that today is that there's moments in our lives where we have no idea what they mean, why they happen. And in looking back 14 years now, it's hard to, 14 years. Like it's so hard to believe. Looking back, like so much has happened since then. And it's a shame that I didn't get to experience a lot of it with her. But in a way, that one moment has probably shaped my life more than anything else. And so that's why I wanted to kind of mention a little bit about that today. You, especially as a young man, you think you got life figured out. For those that don't, we all did. Well, when you're in high school and everything and college, and then, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. The whole, world is in front of me. And I was a guy that I didn't know much of what I wanted to do. When high school, specifically high school sports, ended for me, I really did feel like my life was over. I didn't understand not having sports to play. And I wasn't very good. I just love playing. I love going out there and competing against someone and trying to beat someone better than me, which most guys were trying to be better than them, unite as a team and just striving for something. And people used to always say, teach, oh, you know, homework and, oh, this is all going to be part of your adult life. When you have a job, it's not going to be called homework, but it's going to be called something else. I was like, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to hear any of that stuff. It's like, I want to go play basketball against these tall guys and chop them down at the knees and try to win a ball game. I want to go catch for my buddies, Bill and Devin pitching and you know, lead the team in the dugout. And I want to go call out a defense and like, you know, try to get in the way of guys while I tackle them because they're running me over. Like I wanted to do these things. And so when all that ended, June of 2003, I'm like, well, what do you do now? Adulting? That doesn't sound fun. And then a few months in, there's like, okay, there are some fun aspects to being an adult. At least at times, you know, you don't have the money you'd like, but you are making money for the first time in your life at a job. You can go buy what you want if you have the money for it. You know, my parents' big thing, I was over 18, but I was still living with them. My dad was like, if you're living here, you're going to school, be respectful. Like it was all common stuff, but like couldn't fail in school, had to do well. But anyway, long story short is I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. And so I went to Citrus College and I enjoyed my time there. I was undeclared for the longest time. And I was like, how does everybody know? It drove me nuts. How does everybody know what they want to do? Especially at 18. The only thing I wanted to do was play sports and now that's over. And so the like one, I don't know, like, I guess the second best thing was to coach. All right, I'm going to get into coaching. And I started coaching in the Rio Junior High department with Todd Carson. I did that for 4 years. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. But balancing that with going to school, and I'm like, what am I going to school for? What is this for? I don't know what I want to study. I know I wanted to finish. I knew I wanted to have a degree just to say I did it, kind of a thing. But it took me 2 or 3 years to figure out what I want to do. And people would ask me, what do you want to do? I have no idea. I started to get mad at the question. Well, you'll figure it out. It's like, when? So finally, I just said, all right, this is what I'm doing. And I decided to pursue communications, media stuff, basically. And to be a sports writer, I was like, okay, I write. Okay, I can do that. So I thought that's what I was going to do. Media, journalism, maybe into broadcasting and things, but not having any idea about that stuff. And just so far behind technologically, I didn't have an email address to start college. I didn't do any of that. I can't tell you what a miracle it is to put out podcast episodes. You guys have no idea. Anyway, so I eventually decided to pursue communications. I'm like, all right, I'm going to be a sports writer, or I'm going to work for a sports team, maybe radio or something like that down the road. ESPN, that kind of stuff. I'm like, all right, maybe. I didn't do math. I didn't do science. English, I didn't like reading, but I was okay at writing. That's what I felt was okay at. And I knew sports stuff. So I decided to do that, transfer to Cal State Fullerton. I was coaching at Rio with Todd, starting to get a little burned out too with that. But I thought in my life, all right, I'm going to go to college. I'll find some job somewhere and I'll probably coach, at Rio, and I'll do that a while. That was kind of my like tentative plan. I was dating someone at the time. Was very much involved with that and kept my life kind of very private in that regard. But things seemed to be shaping up okay. I was like, all right, well, this isn't quite the same fun as high school, but I guess it's different. And yeah, things are going okay. Making not much money, but some money, volunteering, going to school, in a relationship, things were pretty good. So I eventually hit a point with Rio where I needed to step away. It was the hardest thing I had to do, well, at the moment, to step away from Rio. And I don't think I was going to coach anyway, I won't get involved in all that, but I stepped away from Rio. I didn't know what I was going to do. Not coaching. What am I not coaching? This is all I thought I was going to do, but it wasn't going to pay the bills. Right. And I was just, I needed a break, I guess. And it was hard stepping away from Rio Hondo after it was such a big part of my life. Anyway, I'm getting to a point here, I swear. I left Rio, and I had always said that if I stepped away from Rio, there was two areas I wanted to like dive all into. One was officiating, and the other was to really try to work for a sports team, work at Cal State Fullerton for their baseball program, work for the Rancho Cucamonga Quake, work for a team, be game operations or something. So I kind of dove all into that. And I fell in love with high school football officiating that summer, that fall of 07, and started working for as an internship that summer. I worked for the Fullerton Flyers, which was an independent baseball league. That's where I met my good friend Chris Albaugh. He later got me involved with Cal State Fullerton baseball. So things are starting to shape up. I'm going, okay. I was going into my senior year of college. Here we go. And, life can hit you. One of the reasons I love boxing, MMA too, is sometimes, you see guys fighting and then out of nowhere, this guy throws a hook that the fighter just does not see. And it hits him in the chin. They don't know what hit him literally, and they go down and they're done. So maybe you're fighting a good fight. You're even winning a few rounds. And then one shot just blindsides you. And it's like, whoa, where am I? So I've always been skeptical of when things in my life start to go semi-well, because I'm like, wait a minute, where's the hook coming from? Where's the uppercut? Like, you just could feel it. At least I can. And it's all based off experience. So again, I was working high school football, loved it. High school basketball, man, this is great. I'm going to work for the Cal State Fullerton baseball team in the spring. My senior year, January of 08 hits. And I take this class at Fullerton. This is basically the culmination of everything we've learned into this one class, group projects, and like, it was going to take a lot of time. I was like devastated because I was like, I don't know how I'm going to get through this. This seems impossible. And I was very, very frustrated, very, very, had like no hope. Like, man, am I going to graduate? And right as all that happens, the young lady I was seeing, she decides to break things off. We were really looking forward to our senior year of college, finishing up, and then, maybe starting a life. I don't know. And this is looking back, it's been so long, but that kind of happened in like February-ish. And I remember it was just started my last semester of my senior year. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm about to finish college. This can't happen right now. Why is this happening? No. And your first breakup, your first love, man, woman, doesn't matter. Like, you're devastated. You think the world is ending, much like when my sports career ended. I'm like, the world's ending. What am I going to do? So the reason I'm telling you all this is my mom happened to work in Brea. She had retired Bank of America and took a few years off. And then she just wanted to get out of the house and go to a job every day. She took some job in Brea, Beckman Coulter, and she was way more qualified. They actually tried to say, hey, you're way more qualified. What about this? Be a manager. She's like, no, I want to be basically, I don't know the term for it, but an administrative assistant, just work the front desk or something. And she was just satisfied with that. So she worked in Brea, right up the street from Cal State Fullerton. And so for many of those months, I'd have breaks and, certain days of the week between classes. And so I didn't go all the way home. And so I'd meet my mom for lunch. And I didn't know it at the time, like what was going on or why I was doing it. Sometimes I'm like, I'm having lunch with mom today. All right, fine. You're 22 years old, 23 years old. And you're thinking, as a young man, you're like, but my mom provided a lot of wisdom to me during those lunches from, we'll say March, until I graduated in late May, June. And one thing she told me, because I had heard about this umpiring school, this umpiring in the minor leagues, and I was very hesitant to do it. And I had 1 year of high school baseball. I was just doing it then. And I was like, well, it seems like it would be some good training. At least it was a 5-week course in Florida. I was telling her about it. And she kept telling me, you need to go do that. Go do it. We'll help you out. But I'm like, I was so hesitant because I'm like, I'm graduating in May. I don't know what I'm going to do in the summer, but this would be something cool to go do, pursue, and see if I could get into minor league baseball. And you don't make much money and you're gone a lot and this and that. But I had just broken up with someone. So I had never thought about it before, but now that I was free and was like, I didn't have anything holding me back, I was like, you know what? Why not go do this and try this out? And so I still was hesitant, but as a young man, you're expressing and venting to your mom. And I didn't know, again, it was one day a week, a couple of days a week, maybe, where we had these lunches and go to Arby's a lot, go to a lot of these other places. And anyway, I'll keep moving, I swear. I graduated in May, and her big gift to me and my friend Todd Carson Todd's idea was that he and I go to the College World Series in June of 2008. We were big college baseball fans. My mom and him kind of colluded behind the scenes. They made it happen. That was my big graduation gift from college. And so Todd and I went in June of 2008, enjoyed ourselves, came back in July. And then it was just like a random summer. It felt like the summer after I graduated high school. I was now done with college. And I'm like, all right, now what? Now what am I going to do? I guess I had written off the minor league baseball thing, which wasn't until January anyway. And I'm like, what am I going to do? Anyway, fast forward to July. Sometime in late July, my mom had an episode at work, heart attack, at the hospital. We came and saw her. We stayed with her for a few days. She was getting better. She was going to be fine. And I think it was a Friday in the middle of the night, our house phone rang. And most people out there know that when your house phone rings, if some of you still have house phones, anytime your house phone rings like after midnight, it's not good news. So answer the phone, and my mom had she was fine. She was sitting in bed. She was talking. She had the heart attack. She was going to slow way down. And my mom was full of energy. And I remember seeing her that Friday, and she said, go, go, go. She hugged me, and she even slipped me a few dollars because she could see I was down and concerned. And anyway, so that Friday night, we get that phone call, and we rushed to the hospital middle of the night, and she had a stroke that basically took her out. She was still alive, but when you walked in the room, you could see her. I don't know how other people have had experience with this, but you could see like the lights were on, but nobody was home. I don't know how else to express it respectfully. She kind of looked, she was looking around. She could see us. She couldn't speak. She couldn't acknowledge, you try to tell, oh, she squeezed my hand. You try to say those things. You try to I don't know, to make yourself believe that someone in that position is reacting to you or not. But, and there was definitely hope and okay, life's going to be tough, but we're going to get through this. So, it was Friday night into Saturday. Doctors had to do tests and things. Late Saturday night, this all happened so fast, but doctors pulled us aside, and he said, it's gotten worse. I won't bore you with the details, but basically we can try a massive surgery, brain surgery, but she'll never walk. She'll never talk. And more than likely she's not going to survive. And so you're sitting there as a 23-year-old thinking you've known what devastating moments and news are. You think losing your final high school game is important or devastating. You think a girl that you were in love with is losing that is devastating. And you think, first couple job interviews you go to, you're told no. And, whatever, you think those are devastating moments until you really reach something that does kind of disintegrate everything inside of you. And none of that stuff mattered when you hear those words. And, you can cry about it. You can fall apart. You have that right. But I just remember thinking, if I start bawling right now, it's not going to change anything. And I've cried plenty. over the years, especially regarding this moment and when it happened. But there was just a sense of shock, like this is a dream that we're supposed to wake up from. I have a lot of those types of dreams where I'm like, what? I wake up, okay, it was a dream. But this wasn't a dream, it was reality. And we prayed, Lord knows I prayed, that things would work out. People came to the hospital, so many people. Anyway, she passed away July 27th, 2008 at exactly 1:45 p.m. And it just ended. And I'll say that I've said this to people who are grieving, and like, when you're told, I think being told someone is going to die is way worse than finding out that someone has died. And then it's not to diminish anyone who's suffered or lost relatives or loved ones, but it's a grueling moment seeing somebody expire, and not quickly. It doesn't happen quickly. So I guess I'm sharing all this with you guys just to kind of get it off my chest. But from that moment, I didn't know what else was gonna occur in my life, but I also knew that it's time to grow up quickly, because no matter what gets thrown at you, it's life. I didn't expect to lose my mom at 23 years old. My brother was only 20. It devastated my father, and it was up to me and my brother to be there for him. My other relatives, my mom had siblings, my cousins. Everyone was devastated by it. And it was a hard moment in my life, but it's a moment that I've gotten through. I can talk about it now without breaking down. It's just hard to believe that it's been 14 years. And I think that singular moment for me has given me so much. It's given me energy, and it's given me inspiration in a lot of things I've done. To just, sometimes you just go all out on things. You just go for it. And I told my dad about the minor league baseball thing. He said, yeah, you're doing it. And so it was because of my mom, because of those talks, those lunches where she said, go do it. I said, yeah, she said to do that. That's probably the only reason I ended up umpiring professional baseball, is because of her encouragement to go do something I did not think I could do. And I went and did it. I would have liked to gone further. I'll express how that all kind of ended some other day, but I did things in baseball that I never thought I'd be able to do. And a lot of times when I'd be on a field, when I'd be in the 12th inning, when the crowd would be on me, when everything around me was going wrong, I would take a breath and I would think about July 27th, 1:45 p.m. And it would calm me down. It would bring my nerves to be like, that's the worst thing you've experienced to date. Nothing else going on right now is that bad. And so it gave me this ability to carry myself through difficult times, tense moments that are full of just intensity. And I hate attention. I know I run a podcast. I absolutely hate attention and like recognition. I hate those things. And so I got into the right business. Well, as far as attention, you're going to get negative attention in umpiring. So I got plenty of that. And so many things I've done in my life, I didn't think I'd ever do, because I don't have quite the self-confidence that maybe others do. And a lot of it still stems from that experience with, my mother. And I think back as much as I can to her wisdom and just the words. What would she say right now? So much of it as a teenager, like teenage boys and their mom relationship. It's futile. It's not always cordial, right? There's a lot of head bashing. Your dad is your dad. That's like toughness. All right, come on, suck it up. But your mom, there's that right amount. You don't want to be a mama's boy, right? But you want to be someone who's respects your mother, and your mom also can lay down the law at times, sometimes worse than dad can. But I just feel that moment in my life 14 years ago has given me strength in ways I didn't know I had. And I've suffered plenty of things in life, much like many of you have. But this one moment for me has been something that I'll never forget. It's not a fun memory, but sometimes really looking back at painful memories, it motivates you to go try other things, to go do other things. To start a podcast when I was like, I'll never be able to do something like that. There's still plenty of things that I don't think I can do or will do. And yeah, it's you just gotta ask if it's right, pray about it, and if it's meant to be, you go for it. And if it's meant to be, it'll be meant to be. So another little ironic part, and maybe just God has a sense of humor, is that when I started working at FedEx in September of 2020, our station is in industry, and there's all kinds of cities that we service and that we go to. And of all the cities possible that I could have been sent to and assigned to work mostly in, of all the cities, the one city that I go to more than any other city while working at our station is Brea. And I've done pickups, deliveries at some of the same office buildings my mom used to work at that summer of 2008. And I've gone to a few of the restaurants her and I used to go to when I'm over there. And I drive my truck sometimes, I shake my head and I just chuckle. I'm like, who would have thought 14 years ago this, or 14 and a half years ago, whatever it is, spending time over here and thinking, I'll probably never be back in Brea the rest of my life once I graduate Cal State Fullerton. But now I'm there almost every day. And I think of my mom often when I'm on the road and in those areas. And again, not to get all down and depressed. It's none of that. I've been fine with the first few years were very difficult. It's hard to believe it's been 14 years that all happened, but so much has happened since then. And I wish I could have experienced a lot of things that I have with my mom. It's a big reason why I am such a Christmas guy, because those first couple of years I knew I had to take it upon myself to she was a Christmas lunatic. So I had to do the Christmas cards. I had to make sure the decorations, I had to do all those things to kind of keep spirits high. And so it helped me get through things. And it's a big reason why I am such a big Christmas guy. I do love Christmas, but it's a lot of it is a tribute to her. And Valerie tells me all the time, man, I wish I could have met your mom when she hears the story. And I do too. It would be it'd be a scary thought actually, because the two of them I think would get along far too well and be plotting against me regularly. So I miss my mother. I do every day. I miss her, especially this time of year, but so many good memories that I thought I would share with you guys today. That life, the changes that we go through in life, the obstacles, the moments, they're temporary, and it's how we react to them. It's how we respond to them. We can dwell on something that's really almost crippling, or we can use it as fuel and move on. And it doesn't mean, that's why I love, again, fighting. I love the fighting analogies. I love watching fighters who go through adversity, and at the very end, they come out on top or whatever. They swing that random hook and connect. I mean, life is just funny. We get one of these. We only get one of these, at least to my knowledge. Maybe the reincarnation, or maybe hopefully we're all hoping, right? There's a better life for us on the other side. But we can't control what happens in our lives. All we can control is the way in which we respond to them. And I am nowhere near where I thought I would be. You ever play that game when you're like 16? Oh, when I'm 25, I'm going to be this. When I'm 30, I'm going to be this, right? And then as you get closer to those numbers, you're like, oh man, I'm behind, right? Behind from the worldly, calendar or whatever you're supposed to have. I mean, I'm 37 years old now, and I have a college degree. I umpired at professional baseball, umpired college baseball, didn't really have a regular job until a couple of years ago. I did a bunch of game operations things, working with college teams, few professional teams. I worked at Fox Studios. This isn't me giving my joyful resume here. I'm just kind of giving, sometimes you never know what you're going to experience. And now I'm a truck driver at FedEx, a job that you don't need a degree for. And I would argue you probably don't need a degree for many things these days, or it's kind of useless. But the one reason why the degree is special to me, especially from Cal State Fullerton, is because the distinction to kind of the location, the logistics, if you will, of where my mom was and where I was those last couple months of our lives. We were close by. We spent some time together. So it's stuff like that I cherish. So I'm happy now. Got a lovely girlfriend. When I was dumped back in that beginning of that 08, I thought, oh, never date again. Right. All these things that we all experience. And then I don't know what I'm going to do. And things work out. If you keep your best foot forward, man, things work out, and you just don't be afraid to try things. That is the hardest thing for me to do, is to try new things. I don't like change. I like to be left alone. I'm fine being by myself. I'm not against being around people. I'm not very social. This is just a microphone and a camera. It's not people. When I get around people, when I open up, yes, I am better at that stuff. But for the most part, I try to just keep to myself. And if you see me and I don't know, I don't say hello or something, I either didn't see you or I'm not as outgoing as maybe I've been portrayed. I don't know. I'm trying here, guys. Life is weird, and sometimes you just got to roll with it. Anyway, I will leave you with that today. I just wanted to touch base with the podcast, and today is a special day. It's a day I never forget. It's a day I try not to get sad with it anymore. It's just, it happened. It's a moment in history, an important date for me, because my life changed forever from then. And I would say a lot of significant dates in our lives do that for us. Some good, some great, some bad, some sad. And, life goes on. The sun rises the next day, and you can't dwell on the past. You can't, whether it's good or bad. You just gotta create new memories, new moments, and new big moments on the calendar. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I appreciate it. Diane Gladys Hersema, you've been on for 14 years. So hard to believe, but you are missed, Mom. I love you. And I carry you with me in almost everything I do. So thinking of you daily out there. And I will say this in closing to those that have loved ones, to those young boys who are, I don't want to hug my mom anymore. I'm too old for that, to the grandparents that, or whoever your loved ones are, like, you just never know, man. My mom was 53 when she passed away. I'm still shocked that people have grandparents, who are my age, who have grandparents. I'm like, I lost my grandparents when I was in high school. Like, it's not, I don't hold any grudge or anything, but I'm just like, man, spend every moment you can with those people important to you, because you just never know. It's not like someone rips them from you. I don't blame God or anyone for what happened. Things just happen, and we have no control. It's the people that think they have control over things. And then when you lose control, it's like, well, you never had it to begin with. Right. So anyway, cherish those around you. If you have a grudge with someone, for good grief, we settle it right now. Life's too short for that stuff. If you're mad at someone, or I don't know, you don't like what they believe, and does it really matter? Because when they pass away, or you're gone, it's like, oh, I wish I would have said this, or I wish I would have hugged her more. We got to get over ourselves and enjoy what's in front of us. That's all we can do. Tomorrow, nothing is promised. Nothing is promised. Tomorrow isn't promised. Nothing. So I just wanted to say those words today and kind of reflect on July of 2008, since it is a significant day in my life, and hopefully I didn't bore any of you guys out there. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I will be back next week on probably Tuesday. I think I'm going to do a show Tuesday. But again, keep in mind, the schedule is changing, and there might be some episodes out Thursdays once the Charge to Keep podcast gets moved to Sunday. So just stay tuned, And for those of you who are subscribed on audio and to the YouTube portion of the podcast, I greatly appreciate it. And if you're looking for a Real Hundo Prep football podcast, that is now titled A Charge to Keep. So go definitely get on all that. Guys, thanks for tuning in. I love all you guys. You guys have made this so much fun. I know the Charge to Keep podcast is probably going to take off now and be the bigger priority. But for those loyal listeners of the Get Home Safe podcast, especially those who tune into my solo episodes on Tuesdays, I appreciate each and every one of you, and you guys keep me wanting to come back and do this. So I will continue to do that, keeping going here next week, and then probably Thursdays after that. So just stay tuned, and thanks again for tuning in, guys. As always, this is your reminder, though, no matter what you're doing, whether you're out on the town or round in third base, get home safe.